Happy New Year. Facebook shuts down the conservative tweets and posts on Facebook. What's up, everybody? Welcome aboard to 2021. Are all our problems magically going to disappear because we're in the new year? No. Okay. Are the markets going to suddenly change direction? Probably not. But what we do see is, once again, Facebook shuts down the GOP and the conservative posts on their site, just in front of the election, interestingly enough. And of course, this is something that we'll be dealing with forever. And of course, this is the way of us giving away our freedoms as we continue to get reined in. Okay. Now, again, you can say it's okay. And of course, obviously, those of you who are so far left that you've lost your mind, and that's okay too. Hey, listen, one thing I can say is that we're all entitled to our opinions. But it is interesting how, once again, we are seeing some election maneuvering in front of a major, probably the biggest single election in my lifetime. All right? I mean, again, I don't ever want to see any one party in full control, whether it be left, right, or in the middle. Okay? There needs to be those checks and balances, which, of course, we seem to be giving away piece by piece, brick by brick, each and every day. But again, I guess they're allowed to do it. How they can get away with it, I don't know. But of course, how a lot of things happen in this country, I'm not sure either. But we'll get to that in our commentary. But in the meantime, we've got all kinds of things going on, and I think probably the biggest story, other than it's the new year, is Bitcoin. It's on a rocket launch. Okay, here we are on January 3rd, and Bitcoin was over 32,000 yesterday. Okay, and flying. Now, of course, I think it's probably a little bit of a blow up, a little bit of some panic, but at the end of the day, there it goes. Okay. Now, the other ones are up as well, but not anywhere. Bitcoin has been, my God. But look, we've talked about it before. We are owners, okay, very small. But obviously, I think that, we're seeing a shift, and I think we're seeing, some that would like to get away from the current environment we run, which is the availability to manipulate, to play with currencies. And it's not just the U.S. It's worldwide. They all manipulate their currencies. For what reason? Well, obviously, one is to continue to print money, which, of course, we have. We've got the unlimited supply of the printing press. And I guess, as long, like they say, right, as long as I got checks, I can't be overdrawn, or as long as there's paper and ink. Well, soon they'll go to sell digital currency. I won't need paper and ink anymore either. But, of course, this is a way of taking control of everything. And of course, this is, obviously it's a very scary situation, not so much for me, because I won't be around when it finally hits the fan, but, future generations, this is going to be, almost like, I don't know what the right term would be, but you're going to be so controlled, you're not going to have any freedoms. I mean, that's really where we're heading to. Okay. But, look at, hey, if we can pay Janet Yellen $7.3 million to speak, okay, just another bubble builder who is absolutely clueless, okay, and only knows one thing, how to print more money. There isn't, let's go to work and let's rebuild America, okay. We keep hearing about the promises for infrastructure, and once again, new administration says we're going to get infrastructure. Well, I hope we get it. I mean, but shouldn't people have to go back to work? Okay. Isn't it time? I mean, this stimulus package is comical. Okay. I mean, yeah, let me stay at home and drink a few beers and watch TV all day. I mean, give me stimulus. I don't get it, but why, hey, I'll take it too. I mean, it's time, for America to go back to work. It's time to let the stores start to open. But of course, now that we've destroyed all the small businesses and all the restaurants and things, hey, look, so the party for the small has put all the small out of business. Wonderful situations that we have here. And of course, listen, let's just keep paying, those big fees to, people like Yellen to speak at a bank. Okay. Why do you think they're paying her so much? You think it's because she's got so much going for her? Or maybe it does have something to do with that she did get the printing presses running and she's back in office again. Okay. So, you can look at it any way you want. I mean, I have to ask the question, okay, I wouldn't pay 5 cents to see her speak, let alone, 25,000 or 50,000 or 100,000. I mean, I don't know. Maybe you would. And if you would, hey, God bless. Look, I don't tell people how to think. You think how you want. But Janet Yellen is the one who said there'd never be another stock market crash. And of course, we've only had a couple since she's left. But, they think that for some reason that if you print money, okay, that you can avoid problems. But we forget that printing money does not provide growth. Printing money does not provide jobs. It creates a bunch of lazy, fat Americans, okay, that don't want to go to work. Now, I'm certainly from the school that if you are unable because you're at higher risk, you shouldn't go to work yet. And certainly with a doctor's approval, I would say fine. Of course, we know how good those are now too. So, the whole system is a total mess, from the insurance industry to the medical industry to the United States of America's Federal Reserve and federal government. It's a mess. And it will lead to a revolt, another revolution. You can bet on it. Okay, I don't know when it's going to happen. It's just like I can't predict what the market's going to do. But I can guarantee you that people are not going to continue to stand for this type of treatment, nor are they going to stand for having their assets fleeced from them magically through the imaginary no inflation. Okay, let's print more money. Okay, and hide the inflation. It's amazing that the Fed is still looking for the 2% growth. Okay, ask any farmer out there if they are satisfied, with the no inflation, because sure they get it on both sides. Until recently, their output is going down and their input cost is going up. So you tell me how happy they are. We can lie all we want that there's no inflation. But when you just keep printing dollars and you provide more money and you increase the money supply, what do you think you're going to get? Okay. So you mask the fact that we're seeing dramatic inflation in many places. And at one point it will get away and we'll have, amazing hyperinflation and the whole system will come down crashing again. You don't think that there's never going to be another meltdown, I hope, because you can bet that there will be. Now, again, I couldn't predict when. And in fact, as you know, when we get to the market, we'll talk more about it, but we're long. So, I mean, they go up forever as far as I'm concerned, as long as it stays where it's at. But, now you've got, David Stockman, okay, who used to work for Reagan, okay, and he's commenting on the return of Yellen. Now, again, mind you that Stockman has been in the selling subscription business, and he has been warning of a market meltdown since 2010. Well, now it's 2020. The Dow is 250 or 300% higher than it was then, and still the meltdown is coming. Well, if you would have played the meltdown the way that he wanted you to play it, you'd be broke. Okay? So, again, don't ever think that anyone can predict what's going to happen in the short term. I can say with 100% certainty that we will have a big market meltdown at some point. But I can't even tell you if it'll be in my lifetime. How's that? Okay? That's what we know. Okay? And anybody who tells you different is a liar. You cannot predict where the market's going to go or what's going to happen next. It's impossible. But you got to love Tesla. Okay? Now, of course, they have cut their prices for the Chinese. So once again, just another group that decided to adjust around China. Okay, the number one people that more than likely sent over the coronavirus as part of some chemical warfare. Okay, number two, okay, it's because they have the biggest population. Everybody wants a piece of the money. So as I've said to you many, many times before, it comes down to the money. It doesn't come down to anything else but money. Okay, so the NBA players, to everybody, to the actors, it's always about the money. Okay, the whole elections are about the money. And why do you think that, with all the proof that's out there, and we're going to get that in my commentary, but why do you think that even the Republicans have walked away? It's not because they're against Trump. It's because of the money. And we'll get more into that. But again, you can look at things any way you want, but the picture's as clear as can be. Okay, everything always comes back down to dollars and cents, which is why we kowtow to China. Okay, because of the money. It's not because of the cheap labor they provide or the slave labor or because of the worst in human rights in the world. Okay, it's because we make more money for them. All right, so. Why do you think they all want to be back in bed with China? Because they get special treatment and special deals based on being in bed with OPEC and China and all the criminals of the world that create, nothing and take everything. But, look, hey, I just learned how pretty soon we won't be number one in the world. Okay, we continue at this pace, you will get taken over. Okay, so in the meantime, and I do not condone this at all, but it is comical that they did some vandalism at Nancy Pelosi's, put a pig's head on her lawn or on her whatever, and did again, I don't condone violence or vandalism. I think that's a shame. But anybody who would sit there and eat Haagen-Dazs ice cream and take her big paycheck while people are not working and starving, it is a little bit comical. Okay. But overall, what has she done? Done nothing. And I think you're seeing ways that people are getting tired of them doing nothing. And of course, even now in Portland, which was the leader of letting protests and demonstrations take place, has got a little frustrated, and they are now turning on Antifa. Okay. Another ridiculous organization that is trying to help the deep states take over everything. And again, you can say I'm nuts. You can say whatever you want. Okay, but as far as I'm concerned, there's a lot of trouble and there's a lot of problems out there. And the way that they're trying to solve them is more lending to them and making it easier for them than it is preventing it. This is Bubba's Bottom Line. It is Sunday, January the 3rd. We're going to step out here for a break, and we'll be right back with more after the break. Well, kids, yesterday we did a great hedging webinar. We're going to start the hedging program once again. And, of course, if you would like to hit a recording of that, please shoot me an email at bubba@bubbatrading.com. I'll be happy to send you the recording. We have now got to the point where our hedging system and program is entirely automated if you choose. Again, you don't have to. That is up to you. And, of course, that goes through our brokerage partner at Tradier. And just full disclosure, I have other brokers that I use, but they're the one I prefer because A, they're $10 a month. B, they got great customer service. C, we've got their APIs so we can automate through them now. And again, for $10 a month, I save a fortune. And our other brokerage partner for futures and commodities, the CTG Group, which is, again, customer service, number one, is always my first thing. They trade for me 9 out of my 10 accounts through letter of direction, which they trade our algorithms, which my members go to. They're the only ones who are authorized to do so. So I encourage you to check them out. Look, if you want information, either one, just send me an email or call them direct. Again, I'm just trying to put people in the best place. I have no benefit. I want you to be good, happy, comfortable, and not overpaid. Okay. And of course, our partner at Family Farms, hopefully we'll get out of the house one day and get back on the road. But we are planning a trip in February, right before we go back to work in the grain world, and trying to get out and meet with everybody and do some presentations. So hopefully that'll work out. But we're really looking forward to that as soon as hopefully we can get this. The vaccines are out, so hopefully we can get out. And of course, the commodity report, Andy's been working his tail off on those quarterlies. They are unbelievable. Okay, and of course, the product itself is unbelievable, especially tied in with our algorithms. But that's technical. You can see it at BUBBATrading.com. Okay, and of course, don't forget our high school program at Patreon, patreon.com/BubbaTrading. That's patreon.com/BubbaTrading. Now let's get back to Bubba's Bottom Line with me, Todd Bubba Horowitz. Welcome back. It is Bubba's Bottom Line. It is Sunday, January the 3rd. And, well, what do we have? What a close we had on Thursday. I'm going to say Friday, but Friday was New Year's Day. What a close we had on Thursday, eh? I mean, what a market move up late in the day. But here we are, new highs again, except for the Russell. But, of course, we said last week that we expected the Russell to go down because it had been up 8 weeks in a row. And you always assume that at some point there is going to be some retracement. But the other indices all made all-time new highs. We are still long all of them across the board. Okay. Now, again, I tell you and I share with you, okay, that why fight it? Okay. Now, I don't particularly care like being this long in the market, especially because, that's my entire equity portfolio. Of course, it's hedged. But, I mean, certainly, I expect some selling at some point. But, again, I am not going to try to tell the market what to do. I'm going to continue to follow the path of least resistance is what our algorithms do. Okay. In the meantime, volumes were obviously, as we said, would be pathetic, and they were. So there was really no real action other than the market just rallied and rallied and rallied some more. So we'll see what it brings. Tonight I would not be surprised to see a fairly healthy sell-off off the opening tonight. Now again, whether or not it lasts, I'm not making any predictions. We're long, okay. But the way that they closed on Thursday is obviously looks like a quick chase up. Maybe get some mark. Who knows? And we'll see. Maybe I'm right. Maybe we'll go straight up. Look, it'll be whatever it is. It will be. I know one thing for sure. Tomorrow on Monday when we come in, we'll still be long, and I will be long at least until Tuesday. Okay. Now the bond markets and the notes, they were basically flat, just slightly to the upside, but basically flat. And it's interesting, but I was actually talking to a banker on Saturday, and I asked the question. I said, why are the bond futures not going higher quicker? Because we're long, but or is it already priced? And I guess it's already been pre-priced. They were going to continue to do the stimulus anyways. In the meantime, we're still long, and they were slightly higher. I mean, not enough to do anything, but just slightly higher. Copper, although had a couple of sells towards the end of the week, and we are still long, but it's getting closer now. But again, remember, you expect things to happen. You expect markets to do something. And even in an uptrend, there's going to be pullbacks. Now, that is usually, and this should probably be a potential buying opportunity. And that's what you want to focus on is where does your opportunity come in? So if you're following the path of least resistance, then you get in and you're looking for a spot to buy right now. Okay. The net gas was fairly flattish, towards the lower side. They continue to pound away, a warmer winter, not a need. And, we'll see. There'll be a surprise somewhere, but we are still short. The oil, crude, slightly higher. We're still long, as much as I hate it. But, if OPEC does get control and if the election goes, totally left and we lose Georgia as well, then you could see OPEC would be a main player, and you could see oil go back, which I never thought we'd see, but you could see it go back to $100 a barrel. Now, I mean, not tomorrow. So again, it ain't going up there tomorrow, but it could certainly start to rally. And of course, we would probably no longer be the number one exporter in the world, and we would be once again dependent on our good friends who never take advantage of us from OPEC. Okay, the dollar continues to get smashed, and again, we're looking at our next target to the downside would be 88 cents. Okay, right now just under 90. Look, we're short, and of course, let it go. I mean, but it's again, it goes back to what are they trying to do? And they continue to try to manipulate and short dollars and bring them down. So we'll let them go. I mean, what am I going to do? I can't change the country. I can't change the markets. All I can do is trade the best I can within the markets I'm giving. There's a saying we have here, which is trade the markets you have, not the markets you want, which means don't predict them. Just let them trade and react to them. Okay. So in the meantime, again, pretty solid week, pretty solid end of the year after a little bit of a drawdown. It was a great finish. Okay. In fact, out of all the portfolios we track, we were positive, hugely positive in December and through the last 2 weeks of the year, especially. So all good there. And of course, as we look at the grain markets, explosion. I mean, they're going straight up right now. Now, again, I would expect a pullback at some point. But every day when I was on RFD TV, they go, they might have been down. I said, look, they're probably going higher. Look for a spot to buy. I mean, corn is almost parabolic right now. It's going to get a pullback. And right now, I mean, I think corn's about 485. I mean, a pullback to 460 would still be bullish. Okay. Again, we know that there has to be some retracement. Soybeans are very similar. They're a little bit too sharp to the upside. Now, again, it's good, but you have to expect some pullback. Be prepared, not surprised. And wheat is now breaking out to the upside as well. And we are long all three. So, again, all good for us. Okay. In the meat department, proteins, you've got, cattle. Fat feeder cattle was slightly lower for the week. Fat cattle or live cattle was slightly higher. Virtually just churning and consolidation. Again, I look at those two products and I say, this reminds me of the grain markets right before they broke to the upside. That is one of the phases of the market we talk about all the time. So this just reminds me of that exact type of pattern, okay, that we're looking for, okay? And we will see how it develops. Listen, I can't predict it, but we are long across the board, hogs and cattle. And hogs had a pretty big move, on Friday especially, or Thursday, excuse me. But again, overall, we like the meats, and a lot of it depends on, does the economy get open, and do we get some more demand? Now remember, markets do sometimes tend to price in ahead of time things, but look at housing sales, loans, the whole thing. So everything looks well. And of course, the softs, cotton was higher, and we're still long cotton. We were short OJ. We reversed it. Obviously, had a couple of big up days. Okay, and so we're now long OJ. We're now long coffee. We are now going to be long sugar on Monday. Okay, and we are still short cocoa. And look, I think commodities have a lot of room to go on the upside. That is always a part of all bull markets. And typically, commodities are the last to act because now money is looking for more places to go. So I would expect to see, and wouldn't be surprised to see, a bigger move up in the softs as well. Overall, remember, markets are the markets. Nobody can predict them, no matter how many people tell you and promise you the world. Nobody can deliver what they're promising. Markets have to be reacted to, and you have to be prepared to do everything, okay, and understand how they work and pricing. And then you have an opportunity to be successful. There are no guarantees, okay, in this business, and it's a grind. There home runs, other than, we play for home runs in a couple of our models, but we understand that that's what we're playing for. But to predict them and say that this is the hot one tomorrow, anybody who says that is full of crap. This is Bubba's Bottom Line. Todd Bubba Horwitz. We're going to step by for a break, and we'll be right back with my commentary after the break. Well, everybody, again, as we always talk about, we've got some great partners, and certainly Family Farms is among them. It's so exciting, and it's so sad that we got basically shut down as soon as we got partnership with them, because, of course, that was right when COVID was starting. But hopefully we'll get things going. But we are doing a lot of stuff online. And, of course, we want to continue to educate and help our farmers because, of course, we know how challenging the business is to begin with. So they're a great partner. And our brokerage partners, and I do have other brokers. Again, I always want to give you full disclosure. But for commodities and futures, the CTG Group, there is nobody like them. Okay, they got great customer service. They handle my accounts. Okay, through letter direction, our algorithms, and they take care of business. So why wouldn't I want to be with them? They are terrific people with great customer service. And when you're trading, you need customer service. And especially those of you who might have less experience, you might have to call and ask a question. You need somebody to answer the phone, not, getting voicemail jail. Okay. And of course, our equity partner, Equity and Options, there is nothing like Tradier. Okay. Tradier, the brokers, are, first of all, $10 a month. Okay. They've got terrific customer service to go along with it. Okay. And now you have the opportunity, if you choose, again, there is no requirement that you have to automatically trade, but if you'd like to, you have the ability to auto trade your account, okay, based on your own specs that you get to set, okay, our programs. And of course, for hedging, there's nothing better, especially if you're not around and you want to make sure you catch the rolls and things. I mean, it'll do it for you. Now, you're no requirement that you have to, but because we have their APIs, we are going to automate everything. We're almost done with all of our products. And that all that does is it gives you another opportunity or another option to decide if you'd like to do something. Now, again, anybody who's trading can use the software. Anybody can get the signals. There's no requirement for trading. But again, we love Tradier. We love CTG. And again, you want to check them out, just send me an email at bubba@bubbatrading.com. And of course, yesterday I did a great webinar for hedging once again, as we're getting ready to go back to work and get the classes going again. I mean, if you're not hedging, shame on you. Okay, it's your money, but hey, I'm just telling you, hedging there ain't nothing better than that. Okay, to be started to make sure your retirement is safe. And of course, if you'd like to have a copy of the recording, just shoot me an email at bubba@bubbatrading.com. And our commodity report, Andy has done such a good job. He is working his butt off. Okay, getting these quarterlies out, and they've been coming out about two a day. And I think he's got about another week to go. But they're unbelievable. And he's been unbelievable. And if you tie it together with our algorithms, phenomenal. All the portfolios are killing it. So that's been great. And of course, don't forget about our high school program at Patreon, patreon.com/Bubba Trading. That's patreon.com/Bubba Trading. Let's get back to Bubba's Bottom Line and, of course, my commentary. Welcome back. It is Bubba's Bottom Line. It is Sunday, January the 3rd. And, as you know, I always have something to say. And, I never realized, I always knew about the deep state. I just didn't realize how deep it goes. It's even deeper than I ever even imagined. And of course, and what am I referring to? Again, I've already told you before that I defer that, President Joe Biden or President-elect Biden is going to be the new president. I am not talking for a change. I'm not talking about, any of the conspiracy theories, but certainly it's amazing how not one case got heard. And there is some pretty good proof that there is more reason for something to be looked at. Now, again, I am not saying that it should be done, but I'm certainly saying that the way that everything is shut down automatically, okay, says to me that there's bigger problems and there's more control. And again, what did we talk about earlier? It's about the money, okay? And I think that's why first of all, most Republicans, I don't think wanted President Trump anyways to be the president. Okay. And of course, when he won, they had to support him. But, now that he lost or apparently lost, they are walking away from him and they're not, you have almost virtually no support for him. And again, from an objective standpoint, okay, there are some very valid points to the Kraken and to all the other stuff that is going on. And there's been some absolute definite proof, okay, that there was some finagling in this last election. Now, again, there's been finagling in a lot of elections, so I'm not going to say that was the only reason. But the real story will be told on Tuesday, okay, when they do the Georgia elections. And they've already done a number of things, as I said earlier, with Facebook shutting down the posting for that. So we'll see how it works out. But if this is not at least a split, okay, now I would expect it to be a split. But if it's not at least a split, there was something funny going on. If the Democrats or the left sweep Georgia now as well, okay, there's something going on. Look, I don't care. You can yell at me. You can call me all the names you want in the world. there is something going on. What has happened here is almost a mathematical impossibility. So in the meantime, we'll see. We'll see Tuesday, and we'll talk about it, I'm sure, next Sunday or probably on Wednesday's Bubba's Daily Update. In the meantime, Happy New Year, everybody. Have a great new year. Make it healthy, make it prosperous. And, of course, we'll be back tomorrow with Bubba's Daily Update. But tonight's football game. What a game we got. Wow. The Philadelphia Eagles against the Washington football team. What happened to the Redskins? Okay. Anyways, you'd have to think that the Redskins are going to win that division, most likely, I think, a 6-10 record or a 7-9 record. It's comical, okay? But don't be surprised if Philly beats them and the Cowboys sneak in, okay? In the meantime, we would take, the football team for a small parcel, okay? We had a very nice weekend with Ohio State and with Alabama covering. So we're certainly not going to complain about our results. But tonight, I think you look at the football team, if anything, and if not, you take a pass. In the meantime, a lot of the games are meaningless, and we'll see how it all plays out. But until tomorrow with Bubba's Daily Update, have a great weekend, everybody. As always, I thank you. We'll see you tomorrow.